and they have a huge game looming this weekend against Buffalo. The Cowboys are 10-3. That's the same record they had this time last year. But this time, Jerry Jones is more optimistic.
What is your greatest reason for optimism that this year is going to be different?
I really think that Dak playing the way he's playing in coordination with what Mike's wanting it to be on the offensive side of the ball, they have a little different perspective when they're calling the plays on offense if they're the coordinator as well. And it's more complimentary, and I think we're getting the benefit of that.
All right, so I was asking Hawk about that in the meeting this morning, and you had a very interesting insight into Jerry's not just talking here. In this case, he is exactly right.
He's absolutely right, because Mike McCarthy has come in and he's given detail to this offense. I love the fact in the offseason when he said, I'm going to be the play caller, he put it all on his shoulders. And by putting it on his shoulders, he relieves some of that pressure off of Dak, and you can see it in the game plan. The West Coast offense is so nuanced. It's so detailed. And this is different than last year. It's even different than it was at the beginning of this season, because wide receivers, the tight end in Ferguson and Dak, have to be seeing the same thing. And the level of detail and chemistry they've built, you see it. Last year, Dak would be going into games, and they would just have a bunch of options. And you could see that he had an option going into the play, and when it didn't materialize, he didn't know what to do, and he would force a lot of throws.
Right.
This year, he knows he has the answers to the test because the pressure is off his shoulders, because by going through his progression, by knowing the details of what comes down the field, he's been better. And he's actually playing less risk-averse, which is the best version of Dak. He's playing loose.
When he was saying that this morning, you were nodding as vigorously as I've ever seen you.
No, it's well said, right? Like last year was a concept-driven offense, right? They're going to go in and they're going to have certain things that Dak really loves. But when somebody takes it away, what do we go to, right? Yep. Now it's all precision-driven on a West Coast offense. It's all timing. When is this guy going to be here? When is he going to cross? When is he going to be open? Ball's got to be on time. I think when you're watching the Cowboys, you're watching Dak Prescott. It couldn't have, the schedule they had couldn't have come at a better time after the San Fran game, because they got some defenses they could take advantage of. And we were all like, oh, they're beating bad teams. Well, that's some good time for that, right? Because you're building confidence. So when you do, you have one game, you lose to the Eagles in a tight game, then you come back in a few weeks, you play them and you beat the brakes off of them. So you're seeing this offense continue to evolve, as Hawk is saying, throughout the season. You got to like where they are, because the confidence is really what they have lacked in the past.
Is it different this time?
The psychology of the team.
Yes.
No, it feels different because to me, Dak is a new man. And not just on the field, but off, like on camera. Like just the way he talks to the media, he is 100% authentic. And I feel like in the past, Dak would say the right thing. And now he's like, I don't really care what any of you think. And that's the part, I think, because he's confident in himself and this offense. Now, I will say, give Mike McCarthy credit for adjusting, because the offseason talk was about eliminating mistakes. We're going to be aggressive. But they started the season, I know they put up 40, but it didn't feel like they were allowing Dak to win the game. It was like, don't mess up. And I think there was a point in the season where it flipped and is like, you are the franchise guy. Now go lead us. And they've allowed him to do that.
It's interesting to say that we're taking pressure off of Dak, but it does seem like they're asking him to do more. But it is about him feeling comfortable. And I think consistent in the story of the season is the story that Hawk started us off with. They're getting better. And that suggests that they're getting more comfortable with each other and in this offense. If you remember back to some of the most painful interceptions that Dak threw last year, it was a couple inches off here or there. And the difference between the West Coast offense and what they were doing last year is they had a lot more latitude to make decisions about breaks and cuts and what window to go to. Yeah. This is very different. It's like you need to be here, right there, at this particular time. And Dak Prescott, I think one of his strengths is intelligence. Like, he is one of the best players when it comes to getting to the line of scrimmage, pre-snap, understanding what you're going to see. Yes. And if you take that pressure off of him, if he can figure out, all right, I see this, you see this. That means at this moment, I'm going to do that. It makes it a lot easier for him than trying to read through the play and say, all right, if this isn't open, then switch to here and find that. No, you know it's going to be open.
Think about this. Think about the issues that the Chiefs have had with Patrick Mahomes. And the receivers not being on the same page at the same moment, right? Just a little bit, like the depth of route, where they're and how complicated it feels for the best in the world to do it. That is what has been eliminated in Dallas. Everybody is seeing it the same way. Everybody's expected to be in the same place, the right time, and that's how their offense is going.
Does that add up to more success in the postseason, which is when this will really matter?
Absolutely. And you're seeing that trajectory that these guys are talking about. If you go back to that Cardinals game, Brandon Cooks and Dak Prescott specifically, because their connection, yeah, we talk about CeeDee Lamb, he's been amazing. Ferguson has come on, but Brandon Cooks has been the reason why defenses have to play them honest.
Right.
And in that game, there are quick game throws that Dak Prescott is double clutching. There are times he's expecting Brandon Cooks to sit down in zone and he's running through it, but so very clearly not having the detail that Neek is talking about. This offense goes down to the steps, and the reason why he feels so confident that even if you're not in that timing, he can get out of the pocket and know that those routes are going to be in a certain place, and he's still making those plays down the field.
Is this the time? Is this finally the year?
Listen, if it's not now, I honestly don't know when.
It all sounds good to the 49ers.
There you
punch
go.
it.
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly
the thing,
right.
because the question of, like, can they win the NFC East? Sure, but that's schedule. Like, they have a golden opportunity to prove that everything we've been seeing will continue. But again, they still gotta do it.
I like
and
them.
Dominique. Oh,
I like them. I want to like
make sure
them.
you say. Make sure you say that in the group chat, in the family group chat. Make sure
I will. We're honest around here. Like, yeah, they know that is. I think they're better than everyone in the NFC, except for the Niners.
Niners.
They going into that San Francisco Invitational that is the NFC playoffs. Hey, ESPN Bet is the official sports